Jasmine was a striking beauty, her dark skin glowing like polished obsidian under the summer sun. Her eyes were her most captivating feature, deep pools of amber that seemed to hold entire galaxies within them. People often found themselves lost in her gaze, mesmerized by the depth and warmth they found there. Her lips were another point of envy, full and perfectly shaped, as if sculpted by a master artist. When she smiled, which was often, her teeth gleamed like pearls against the rich burgundy of her lipstick. Jasmine's face was framed by a pair of stylish glasses, their thick black frames adding an air of intelligence and sophistication to her already stunning appearance. But beneath Jasmine's ethereal beauty lay an unusual passion, one that both intrigued and unnerved those close to her. Jasmine loved to pop pimples. Not her own, for her skin was flawless, but those of others. It was more than just a habit or a compulsion. For Jasmine, it was an art form, a way to connect intimately with those she cared about most. Her fascination began in high school when her best friend, Tanya, complained about a particularly stubborn zit on her forehead. Without thinking, Jasmine reached out and expertly extracted it, feeling a rush of satisfaction as the blemish disappeared. Tanya's look of relief and gratitude sealed the deal. Jasmine was hooked. As she grew older, Jasmine refined her technique. She invested in high-quality extraction tools, studied dermatology textbooks, and even considered becoming an esthetician. But she knew that for her, this wasn't about making a career. It was about the intimacy, the trust, the vulnerability of the act. Jasmine's romantic partners quickly learned about her unique predilection. Some were put off by it, but those who allowed her to indulge her passion found themselves drawn even closer to her. There was something almost magical about the way Jasmine approached the task, her eyes narrowing in concentration behind her glasses, her full lips pursed in focus, her gentle hands working with precision and care. She had a particular routine she followed. First, she would carefully examine her subject's face, her fingers gliding softly over their skin as she assessed the landscape. Then, she would gather her tools, always meticulously cleaned and arranged, and begin her work. As she extracted each blemish, she would murmur words of encouragement and explanation, turning the process into an almost meditative experience for both herself and her partner. Jasmine's closest friends and family members became accustomed to her unusual hobby. They would often seek her out when they had a particularly troublesome spot, knowing that Jasmine would take care of it with more skill and gentleness than they could manage themselves. Her mother joked that Jasmine's hands were blessed by the skin gods, capable of healing even the most stubborn of acne. Despite the odd looks and raised eyebrows she sometimes received when people learned about her passion, Jasmine remained unapologetic. She saw beauty in the process, the trust required, the immediate results, the intimacy of the act. To her, it was a way of showing love and care, of helping those closest to her feel more confident and comfortable in their own skin. As years passed, Jasmine's reputation grew. Friends of friends would seek her out, having heard whispered tales of her legendary skills. She never accepted money for her services, insisting that it was a labor of love. Instead, she asked only that those she helped pay it forward by performing an act of kindness for someone else. Jasmine's unusual passion became a defining part of her identity. As much as her dazzling eyes or her perfect lips, it was a quirk that made her unique, a talent that allowed her to connect with others in a deeply personal way. And though some might find it strange, to those who knew and loved her, it was just another facet of what made Jasmine so special. In a world that often prioritized surface-level beauty, Jasmine had found a way to dig deeper, quite literally. Her love for popping pimples wasn't just about removing blemishes. It was about seeing beyond the surface, finding beauty in imperfection, and creating connections through vulnerability and trust.